The research ship New Horizons moved slowly through the darkness of space. Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, watching the dead planet grow larger on the main screen. The world had no name in any star chart. It was just another empty rock floating in the void between star systems. "Reading some strange metal deposits on the surface," said Dr. Lisa Kane from her station. She was the team's expert on alien ruins and ancient technology. "The patterns don't match anything we've seen before." Jake nodded. They had been exploring this region for 3 months, looking for signs of old civilizations. So far, they had found nothing but dead worlds and empty space. This planet looked just as lifeless as all the others. "Take us down for a closer look," Jake ordered. The pilot, Ben Parker, began the landing sequence. Ben had been flying ships for 20 years and could land anywhere safely. The ship touched, down on a flat area covered in strange black stone. Through the windows, the crew could see tall structures in the distance. They looked like buildings, but they were clearly very old and damaged. "Atmosphere is breathable," reported Dr. Kane. "Some kind of artificial atmosphere generator is still working after all these years." Jake was surprised. Most ancient technology stopped working long ago. Whatever race built this place had made things to last. The team put on their exploration. Gear and left the ship. The gravity felt normal, almost exactly like Earth's gravity. Jake found this odd, but didn't think much about it at the time. They walked toward the nearest structure. It was a tall tower made of the same black stone as the ground. Strange symbols were carved into the walls. Dr. Kane took pictures of everything, while Ben scanned for energy sources. "Commander, you need to see this," Dr. Kane called out. She was standing near a large doorway. Above the door were more symbols, but these looked different from the others. Jake walked over to look. The symbols were familiar somehow, but he couldn't place where he had seen them before. Then it hit him like a punch to the stomach. "Those are human letters," he said quietly. Dr. Kane stared at him. "That's impossible. Humans only reached space 300 years ago. These ruins are at least 50,000 years old." But Jake was certain. The symbols spelled out words in an ancient form of English. The letters were changed by time, but they were definitely human writing. They entered the building carefully. Inside, they found more writing on the walls. Some of it was in the strange alien symbols, but much of it was clearly human. Ben's scanner detected active computer systems deeper in the building. "The power source is still running," Ben said. "Something down there has been working for thousands of years." They followed a long hallway that led underground. Emergency lights turned on as they walked, responding to their movement. The technology was far more advanced than anything humans had today. Deep underground, they found a large room filled with computer equipment. The machines were sleek and powerful looking. In the center of the room stood a tall cylinder made of clear material. Inside the cylinder, blue light swirled slowly. "It's some kind of data storage system," Dr. Kane said. She approached the cylinder carefully. "The design is incredible. I've never seen anything like it." Jake noticed a control panel near the cylinder. The buttons were labeled in human writing. His hands shook as he pressed the activation sequence. The room filled with light. A woman's voice spoke in perfect English, though the accent was strange and old-fashioned. "Welcome to Archive Station 7. Emergency protocols have been activated. Warning: hegemony forces have compromised the primary defense network. All human colonies in sectors 12 through 89 have been lost. Evacuation procedures are now in effect." The 3 explorers stood in shocked silence. The voice continued. "This message was recorded in year 47,832 of the human galactic calendar. If you are hearing this, then our people have survived somewhere in the galaxy. The hegemony believes they have destroyed all evidence of our civilization, but they are wrong. Images appeared in the air above the cylinder. They showed massive human cities on hundreds of worlds. Great ships moved between the stars. Humans worked alongside many different alien species. The hegemony was once our ally, the voice explained. We protected them from threats beyond our galaxy. We shared our technology and knowledge, but they grew afraid of our power. They decided that humans were too dangerous to exist. More images showed battle scenes. Human ships fought desperately against overwhelming numbers of alien vessels. Planets burned as cities fell. They erased our records from their databases. They destroyed our monuments and libraries. They hunted down every human they could find. But some of us escaped to the edge of the galaxy. We went into hiding and waited. Jake felt dizzy. Everything humans thought they knew about their history was wrong. They weren't newcomers to space. They were survivors returning to their ancient home. The hegemony thinks we are gone forever, the voice continued. They think our children have forgotten who they are. But the truth is preserved in stations like this one. When humans return to the stars, they will remember. Ben's communication equipment suddenly started beeping. He checked the readings, and his face went pale. Commander, I'm picking up massive energy signatures heading toward human space. Multiple ships moving fast. The ancient voice seemed to respond to this news. Warning. Hegemony monitoring systems have detected human presence in this sector. They know you have found this place. They are coming to finish what they started 50,000 years ago. Dr. Kane grabbed Jake's arm. We have to get this information. Back to Earth. People need to know the truth. Jake nodded. The galaxy wasn't the peaceful place humans thought it was. Somewhere out there, an ancient enemy was preparing to destroy them, just like they had destroyed their ancestors. Download everything, he ordered. We leave in 10 minutes. As the data copied to their portable drives, the voice gave them one final message. Tell our people that we never gave up hope. Tell them that humanity's fire still burns in the darkness. The galaxy belongs to us by right of birth, and it's time to take it back. The team ran back to their ship as fast as they could. Behind them, the ancient station began to shut down. Its purpose finally fulfilled after 50,000 years of waiting. As the new horizons lifted off, Jake looked back at the dead world. It wasn't really dead at all. It was a tomb, holding the memories of a great civilization that refused to be forgotten. Now the descendants of that civilization would have to decide what to do with the truth. The galaxy was much more dangerous than anyone knew, and somewhere in the darkness, old enemies were stirring. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood in the command center of Earth Defense Station 1, staring at the message that had just arrived from deep space. Jake Morrison's transmission was impossible to believe, but the evidence was right there on her screen. Ancient human ruins, technology thousands of years old, and proof that humanity once ruled the galaxy. Play it again, she told her aide. The holographic display showed the recordings from the archive station. Human cities on distant worlds, vast fleets of ships, and then the terrible destruction that followed. Kate had served in the Earth Defense Force for 30 years, but nothing had prepared her for this. Ma'am, we're getting more reports, said Captain Amy Foster, the station's tactical officer. Long-range sensors are detecting unknown ships at the edge of the solar system. They're not responding to our communication attempts. Kate felt a chill run down her spine. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. Someone knew that humans had found the truth. How many ships? She asked. At least 50, possibly more. They're using some kind of stealth technology that makes them hard to track. Kate activated the emergency protocols. Red lights flashed throughout the station as personnel rushed to their battle stations. Earth's defense fleet began moving into position. Get me Dr. Ryan Cross, Kate ordered. I need him here immediately. Dr. Cross was Earth's leading expert on military history. If anyone could make sense of what they had discovered, it would be him. 20 minutes later, Dr. Cross arrived at the command center. He was a thin man with gray hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. Kate showed him the recordings from the archive station. "My God," he whispered as he watched the images. "It all makes sense now." "What makes sense?" Kate asked. "The gaps in our historical records. The way human technology seemed to advance so quickly in certain areas. We always assumed we were naturally gifted at space travel and engineering, but that's not it at all." Dr. Cross pulled up a star chart on the main display. "Look at this. Every human colony is located in what we thought were empty star systems. But according to these records, those systems once belonged to our ancestors." "You're saying we've been unconsciously returning to our old territory?" "Exactly. Our instincts have been guiding us back to the worlds our people once called home." The tactical display suddenly lit up with new contacts. The unknown ships were moving closer to Earth, and more were appearing behind them. "Admiral, I'm reading energy signatures I've never seen before," reported Amy Foster. "These ships are using technology far more advanced than ours." Kate's communication officer spoke up. "Ma'am, we're receiving a transmission from the lead ship. It's coming through on an old Earth frequency that hasn't been used in decades." "Put it through." The main screen flickered, then showed the face of an alien creature. It had pale blue skin, large dark eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. When it spoke, its voice was cold and mechanical. "Humans of the Sol System, you have violated the Galactic Peace Accords by accessing Forbidden's historical data. You will immediately surrender all archive materials and submit to hegemony oversight." Kate stepped forward. "This is Admiral Kate Sullivan of the Earth Defense Force. Who are you, and what gives you the right to make demands in our space?" The alien's eyes narrowed. "I am War Master Keth of the Zephyrian Fleet. The hegemony has protected this galaxy for 50,000 years from the chaos your species once brought. We will not allow history to repeat itself." "Chaos?" Kate felt anger rising in her chest. "From what I've seen, humans were protecting younger species, not threatening them." Keth's expression changed to something that might have been fear. "Your people were too powerful. They controlled forces that could destroy entire star systems. They had to be stopped before they consumed everything." Dr. Cross moved to Kate's side. "You weren't protecting the galaxy from us. You were afraid we would outgrow our need for your guidance." "Enough talk," Keth snarled. "You have 1 hour to surrender, or we will take what we need by force. Your primitive weapons cannot stand against the combined might of 5 species." The transmission ended. Kate turned to her officers. "Assemble the defense fleet, every ship we have, including the reserves." "Admiral, we only have about 30 ships ready for combat," Amy Foster said. "They outnumber us 2 to 1, and their technology is clearly superior." Kate smiled grimly. "Maybe their technology is superior to what they think we have. But according to those records, human ships were built using principles we've only recently rediscovered. Let's see if our primitive weapons have some surprises for them." She opened a channel to all human ships in the solar system. "This is Admiral Sullivan to all vessels. We've just learned that our species has a history in this galaxy that goes back 50,000 years. Today, aliens who call themselves the hegemony want to force us back into hiding. I say we show them that humanity doesn't run from fights." Captain Amy Foster began coordinating the defense fleet. She was young for her rank, but she had earned her position through skill and courage. Her ships moved into formation around Earth and the other inhabited worlds. "Admiral, I'm detecting weapon signatures from the hegemony ships," Amy reported. "They're charging some kind of energy cannon." "All ships prepare for combat," Kate ordered. The first shots came without warning. Bright beams of energy lanced out from the alien ships, striking Earth's orbital defense platforms. The shields held, but Kate could see they wouldn't last long under such firepower. "Return fire," she commanded. Human ships opened up with plasma cannons and missile launchers. The aliens seemed surprised by the effectiveness of the human weapons. Several enemy ships took damage, and one smaller vessel exploded in a brilliant flash. "How are our weapons penetrating their shields?" Amy asked. Dr. Cross was studying the tactical display. "The frequency patterns are almost identical to what we saw in those ancient recordings. Our ancestors designed these weapons to fight the hegemony. We've been building ships based on their old plans without even knowing it." The battle continued for hours. Human ships fought with desperate courage, using tactics that seemed to come naturally to them. They struck hard and fast, then withdrew. Before the enemy could respond effectively, War Master Keth appeared on screen again, his face twisted with rage. "Impossible. Your people should not know these combat techniques." Kate laughed. "We're full of surprises. This is just the beginning." As if to prove her point, reinforcements arrived from the outer colonies. More human ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel and immediately joined the fight. But Kate knew they were only delaying the inevitable. The hegemony had more ships and better technology. Eventually, human defenses would fail. Then something unexpected happened. Dr. Cross's computer started, displaying new information from the archive data. "Admiral, I'm finding references to automated defense systems throughout human space. Stations and weapon platforms that were hidden before the hegemony attack. Are they still active? According to this, they should be. They were designed to activate when human ships broadcast specific identification codes." Kate grabbed the communication device. "All ships transmit the following sequence on all frequencies." She read out a long string of numbers from the archive. Data. For a moment, nothing happened. Then space around the solar system began to light up. Massive defense platforms appeared from behind asteroids and moons. Ancient weapon systems that had been hidden for 50,000 years came online. The hegemony fleet found themselves surrounded by firepower they thought no longer existed. Keth's ship took several direct hits and began to retreat. "This is not over humans," came his final transmission. "The full might of the hegemony will come for you. We will finish what we started long ago." As the alien ships withdrew, Kate looked around the command center. Her people were cheering, but she felt no joy. This was just the first battle in a war that had started before Earth's civilization even existed. "Get me a channel to all human colonies," she ordered. "It's time they learned the truth about who we really are." The message went out across human space. The galaxy was not the peaceful place they had thought. Ancient enemies had returned, and humanity would have to remember how to be warriors again. But they would not face this fight alone. Somewhere in the galaxy, other species might be willing to stand with them against the hegemony. And in hidden bases throughout space, ancient human technology waited to be awakened. The sleeping giant was waking up, and it was very angry. Captain Tyler Brooks guided his strike team through the ruined corridors of Defense Station Titan 7. The ancient facility had been hidden inside an asteroid field for 50,000 years, waiting for humans to return and claim it. Now Tyler and his soldiers were racing against time to bring its weapons online before the hegemony found them. "The main computer core should be just ahead," said Sergeant Sarah Mitchell, checking her scanner. She was the team's engineering expert, and if anyone could figure out the old technology, it was her. They had been at war with the hegemony for 6 months now. The fighting had spread across dozens of star systems as humans activated more and more ancient defense networks. Each discovery revealed new secrets about their forgotten past. "Contact ahead," whispered Private Danny Cole from the front of the group. multiple heat signatures moving this way. Tyler raised his rifle. The hegemony had been sending teams to destroy human facilities before they could be activated. These aliens moved fast and hit hard, trying to undo 50,000 years of careful preparation. How many? Tyler asked. Looks like 8, maybe 10. They're using some kind of stealth gear. Tyler smiled grimly. The aliens thought their advanced technology gave them an advantage, but they were wrong. Human soldiers had been fighting in these corridors long before the hegemony existed. The knowledge was still there, buried in their genetic memory. Sarah, take 2 men and get to that computer core. Danny and I will handle our visitors. The engineering team moved off while Tyler and Danny took defensive positions. They didn't have to wait long. Strange creatures in dark armor rounded the corner, moving within human speed and silence. Tyler had fought these aliens before. They called themselves the Vrex, and they were one of the 5 species that made up the hegemony. They were fast, strong, and absolutely ruthless in combat. The first shots lit up the corridor. The Vrex weapons fired energy bolts that could cut through steel, but Tyler and Danny were ready. They used the ancient architecture to their advantage, taking cover behind walls that had been designed to withstand this exact kind of attack. Tyler, the defense grid is coming online. Sarah's voice crackled through the communication system. You need to get to the command center to authorize the weapons release. Kind of busy right now, Tyler replied, firing at a Vrex soldier who was trying to flank them. The battle was intense but brief. Human weapons, based on ancient designs, proved effective against hegemony armor. When the last alien fell, Tyler and Danny rushed to join the engineering team. They found Sarah standing in front of a massive holographic display that showed the entire sector. Hundreds of red dots marked hegemony ships, while green dots showed human forces. But there were also blue dots scattered throughout the region. What are those blue contacts? Tyler asked. Unknown vessels, Sarah replied. They're not broadcasting hegemony identification codes, but they're not human either. Tyler activated the command interface. Ancient human text appeared on the screen, asking for authorization to begin defensive operations. As he entered the codes, he thought about how strange it was to be using technology that his ancestors had built. Defensive systems activated, announced a computer voice. Warning: multiple hostile fleets detected in protected space. Engaging priority targets. Outside the asteroid field, massive weapon platforms began rising from the surfaces of dead moons and planets. These guns had been waiting for 50,000 years, and they were still hungry for battle. The hegemony fleet that had been hunting. Tyler's team suddenly found itself under attack from all directions. Ships that had ruled the galaxy for millennia were being destroyed by weapons they thought no longer existed. Tyler's communication equipment came alive with signals from across the sector. Human ships were reporting successful activations of ancient defense networks. The war was turning in their favor, but then something unexpected happened. One of the blue contacts on the display began broadcasting on human frequencies. Human vessels. This is Captain Zara of the Kaleri Resistance Fleet. We have been waiting for your return. Tyler exchanged glances with his team. Unknown vessel. Identify yourself. Are you allied with the hegemony? Negative. The Kaleri were once protected by human forces. When your people disappeared, the hegemony enslaved our worlds. We have been fighting them ever since. Sarah pulled up historical records from the station's database. Captain, I'm showing references to the Kaleri in the old files. They were listed as a protected species under human authority. More blue contacts appeared on the display as additional alien ships revealed themselves. The communication channels filled with voices speaking different languages, but all carrying the same message. They had been waiting for humanity to return. This is Commander Jake Morrison aboard the research vessel New Horizons. came a familiar voice. Tyler, are you receiving this? Jake, what are you doing out here? Following up on more archive stations. You're not going to believe what I've found. Tyler's screen filled with new data as Jake's ship transmitted the latest discoveries. The information was staggering. Humanity hadn't just been a powerful species in the ancient galaxy. They had been protectors, defending hundreds of younger races from threats that came from beyond the galaxy itself. The hegemony didn't betray us out of greed, Jake explained. They betrayed us out of fear. There are things out there in the dark between galaxies that make the hegemony look like children. Our ancestors held the line against them for thousands of years. Sarah was studying the new data. Captain, these records show massive battles at the edge of the galaxy. Something was trying to invade, and human forces were the only thing stopping them. What happened to these invaders? Tyler asked. According to this, they were driven back, but not destroyed. The human fleet that fought them never returned. That's when the hegemony saw their chance and struck at our weakened colonies. Tyler felt a chill as the implications became clear. Are you saying these invaders might still be out there? Before Jake could answer, new alarms began sounding throughout the station. Sarah's display showed massive energy signatures appearing at the very edge of sensor range. Something big is coming, she reported. Multiple contacts, much larger than hegemony ships. The communication channels suddenly filled with panic. Hegemony forces throughout the sector were broadcasting emergency signals. Their ships were retreating from combat, abandoning their attacks on human positions. All vessels, this is War Master Keth, came the alien's voice. Emergency protocols are now in effect. The Devourers have returned. All species must cooperate or face extinction. Tyler didn't need to ask what the Devourers were. The ancient records made it clear. They were the enemy that humanity had died fighting 50,000 years ago, and now they were back. Jake, get back here immediately, Tyler ordered. We need to consolidate our forces. Already on my way. Tyler, I'm transmitting the locations of the primary human command centers. If we're going to face this threat, we'll need every weapon our ancestors left behind. As Jake's ship arrived at the asteroid field, Tyler watched the tactical display with growing concern. The unknown contacts were getting closer, and they were massive. Each ship was larger than anything the hegemony had ever built. Captain Zara, are your people willing to fight alongside humans again? Tyler asked the Kaleri commander. We have been waiting 50,000 years for this moment, she replied. Our ancestors told stories of the Great War and the humans who died protecting. U.S. We will not abandon you now. More alien voices joined the communication network. Species that had been enslaved by the hegemony were declaring their freedom and offering to join the human cause. The galaxy was choosing sides, and most were choosing humanity. But Tyler knew it might not be enough. The Devourers had destroyed the greatest human fleet in history. Now a much smaller group of humans and their allies would have to face the same enemy. Sarah, how long until all the ancient defense networks are online? At least another week, assuming the hegemony doesn't interfere. What about the main command center? The one Jake mentioned? Sarah checked the data. It's located at the Galactic core, about 50 light years from here. But Captain, the records say it requires a massive amount of power to activate. Power that would have to come from multiple star systems. Tyler made his decision, set course for the Galactic core. If we're going to make a stand, it might as well be where our ancestors made theirs. As the mixed fleet of human and alien ships began moving toward the center of the galaxy, Tyler wondered if they were flying toward salvation or doom. The ancient enemy had returned, but this time humanity would not face them alone. The ghosts of the past were stirring, and they had lessons to teach the living about the price of freedom. General Alex Turner stood on the bridge of the battleship Defiance, watching as human and alien fleets moved through hegemony space toward the galactic core. 3 weeks had passed since the Devourers appeared at the galaxy's edge, and the situation was getting worse by the hour. "General, we're receiving a transmission from the hegemony capital world," reported Lieutenant Colonel Sam Johnson. "It's from someone claiming to be a peace negotiator." Alex had mixed feelings about this development. The hegemony had spent 50,000 years hunting down and destroying any trace of human civilization. Now they wanted to talk because a bigger threat had appeared, put them through. The main screen showed a tall, thin alien with silver skin and forearms. Alex recognized the species as Zenthari, one of the founding members of the Hegemony Council. "I am Ambassador Vex of the Zenthari." "Delegation," the alien said. "We wish to discuss terms for a temporary alliance against the Devourer threat." "Temporary?" Alex laughed bitterly. "You wiped out our entire civilization, and now you want our help because something scarier has shown up? General Turner, you must understand. The decision to act against humanity was not made lightly. Your species was becoming too powerful. The Council feared you would eventually dominate all other life in the galaxy." Dr. Helen Martinez, the human diplomatic advisor, stepped forward. "Ambassador, we've studied the historical records. Humans were protecting other species, not threatening them." Vex's forearms moved in what might have been a gesture of frustration. Protection can become domination very easily. Your people had technology that could reshape entire star systems. They commanded fleets larger than anything that exists today. How long before they decided that other species were no longer worthy of freedom? Alex felt anger rising in his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm. "Our ancestors died fighting the Devourers while you stabbed them in the back. Don't talk to us about who's worthy of freedom." "The Devourers were defeated," Vex protested. "The threat was eliminated." "No, it wasn't," came a new voice. Intelligence Officer Maya Rodriguez appeared on a secondary screen, broadcasting from deep inside hegemony space. "Ambassador, I'm transmitting data we've recovered from your own archives. The Devourers weren't defeated. They were driven back, but they've been building their strength in the void between galaxies." Maya's information painted a terrifying picture. The Devourers were a race of machines that consumed all organic life they encountered. They had tried to invade the galaxy 50,000 years ago, but human forces had held them back long enough for the galaxy's other species to prepare defenses. "According to your own records," Maya continued, "the hegemony knew the Devourers would eventually return. You've been preparing for this day, while telling everyone else that the threat was gone. Forever." Vex's silver skin seemed to grow paler. "Those records are classified. How did you access them?" "Some of your own people helped us," Maya replied. "Not everyone in the hegemony agrees with the Council's decisions." This was news to Alex. "Explain." Maya's image was replaced by that of another alien, this one with blue skin and large, dark eyes. Alex recognized this species as Aquari, another hegemony member. "I am Commander Reef of the Aquari fleet," the alien said. "Many of us remember the old stories about human protection. My ancestors fought alongside your people against the first Devourer invasion. We have been waiting for your return." "Ambassador." Vex looked shocked. "Commander Reef, you are in violation of your oath to the Hegemony Council." "The Council lied to us," Reef replied firmly. "They told us humans were a threat, but the real threat was always the Devourers. Now they're back, and we need human leadership to face them." Alex watched as more alien commanders appeared on the communication network. The hegemony was fracturing as species chose sides. Some remained loyal to the Council, but others were joining the human cause. "General, I'm detecting massive movement in the Outer Rim," reported Sam Johnson. "Devourer forces are spreading throughout the galaxy." They're not just attacking randomly. They seem to have a plan. The tactical display showed the enemy's strategy. The Devourers were systematically destroying the ancient human defense networks that had been activated during the war. They knew exactly where to hit to cripple the galaxy's defenses. They've been watching us, Alex realized. They know about our technology because they fought it before. Dr. Martinez was studying the enemy movements. General, they're moving toward the galactic core. If they reach the main human command center before we do, they'll be able to shut down every defense network in the galaxy. Alex finished. All ships increase speed. We need to reach that command center first. The race to the galactic core became a running battle. Devourer scouts appeared throughout space, trying to slow the human advance. These machines were unlike anything the galaxy had ever faced. They adapted to every weapon used against them, becoming stronger with each encounter. Their ships are learning from our attacks, reported Sam Johnson after a particularly brutal engagement. The same tactics that worked an hour ago are useless now. Alex was beginning to understand why the ancient human fleet had failed to return from their final battle. Fighting an enemy that adapted this quickly was like fighting your own shadow. Maya, what else can you tell us about Devourer capabilities? The Hegemony archives describe them as self-improving machines, Maya replied. They consume technology and biological matter to create better versions of themselves. The more they fight, the stronger they become. And we need to hit them with something they've never seen before, Alex decided. Something even the ancient humans didn't have. He opened a channel to all human and allied ships. All commanders were going to try something new. Instead of fighting the Devourers with our technology, we're going to fight them with theirs. The plan was risky. Human engineers would capture Devourer technology and reverse engineer it on the spot. If they could understand how the machines adapted, they might be able to stay one step ahead. Commander Reef's Aquari ships volunteered for the most dangerous part of the mission. They would disable Devourer vessels while human boarding. Parties captured their computer systems. The first attempt was a disaster. The Devourer ship self-destructed rather than allow its technology to be captured. But the second attempt succeeded, and human engineers began studying machine code that was older than their civilization. This is incredible, reported Chief Engineer Nicole Bell from the captured vessel. These machines don't just learn from combat. They're connected to a vast network that shares information instantly across the entire Devourer fleet. Can we disrupt that network? Alex asked. Maybe, but we'd need to get close to their command ship. And General, according to this data, that ship is the size of a small moon. Alex looked at the tactical display showing their destination. The galactic core was still days away, and Devourer forces were getting thicker with every hour that passed. Ambassador Vex, are your people willing to help us reach the core? The Xanthari delegation had been quietly listening to the conversation. Vex's expression was difficult to read, but when he spoke, his voice was resigned. The Hegemony Council will consider me a traitor, but yes, we will provide what assistance we can. The Devourers threaten all life in the galaxy. What about the rest of the Council? Some will fight alongside us. Others will try to make a separate peace with the machines. They do not understand that. The Devourers do not negotiate. As the combined fleet approached the galactic core, Alex wondered if they were making the right choice. The ancient human command center might have the power to stop the Devourers, but it also might have the power to destroy everything else in the galaxy. Sam, what's our estimated time to the core? 18 hours at current speed, assuming we don't run into heavy resistance. Alex looked at the star charts showing their route. Somewhere ahead lay the greatest prize in the galaxy, the technology that had once made humanity the protectors of all life. The question was whether they would prove worthy of that responsibility. The ghosts of their ancestors were watching, and Judgment Day was approaching fast. Commander John Stevens watched through the viewport as the ancient human command center came into view. The massive structure floated at the exact center of the galaxy, drawing power from the supermassive black hole that anchored all the surrounding stars. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "My God," whispered Captain Nicole Bell from the engineering station. "It's the size of a planet." The command center was indeed enormous, a sphere of gleaming metal and crystal that pulsed with internal light. Docking bays large enough for entire fleets dotted its surface, and weapon emplacements that could destroy stars jutted out like spines. "John, we're receiving a transmission from inside the station," reported the communication. "Officer, it's an automated system, broadcasting on old human frequencies. Put it through." A hologram appeared in the center of the bridge, showing a man in ancient military uniform. He looked tired, as if he had been fighting for a very long time. "Welcome to Central Command. I am Admiral Marcus Webb, last commander of the Galactic Defense Force. If you are receiving this message, then some part of humanity has survived and returned to reclaim our birthright." John felt a chill as he realized he was looking at a recording made 50,000 years ago. This man had been here when the galaxy fell. "The Devourers have returned, just as we predicted they would," the hologram continued. "Our final battle with them taught us that conventional weapons cannot defeat their adaptive technology, but we found another way." The image changed to show technical diagrams of the command center's core systems. The complexity was staggering, far beyond anything modern humans had ever built. The heart of the galaxy can channel the power of the central black hole into a weapon that will destroy all machine intelligence within 1,000 light-year radius. But the cost is enormous. The weapon can only be fired once, and it will drain the galaxy's core of energy for 1,000,000 years. Nicole looked up from her instruments. "Commander, he's talking about using a black hole as a weapon. The energy release would be visible from other galaxies. The choice is yours." Admiral Webb's recording continued. "Use the heart and save organic life at the cost of technological civilization, or find another way to defeat an enemy that grows stronger with every battle." Before John could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the ship. The tactical display showed massive contacts approaching from all directions. "Devourer fleet incoming," reported the sensor operator. "Hundreds of ships, including that command vessel we detected. They're moving to surround the command center." John opened a channel to the entire Allied fleet. "All ships, defensive positions. Around the station. We hold this ground no matter what." The battle began immediately. Devourer ships swarmed around the ancient station like insects, their weapons tearing into human and alien vessels alike. But the defenders had advantages their ancestors never possessed. "Nicole, take a team inside the command center," John ordered. "Figure out how to activate those defense systems." "What about the heart weapon?" "We use it only as a last resort. There has to be another way." Nicole's engineering team entered the station through one of the massive docking bays. Inside, they found corridors that stretched for miles in every direction. Emergency lighting came on as they moved, responding to their presence after 50,000 years of waiting. "The control room should be at the center of the station," Nicole said, checking her map. "But Commander, I'm reading massive power signatures throughout this place. The ancient humans built defenses we can't even understand." Outside the space, battle raged with desperate intensity. Human ships fought alongside former enemies as Aquari and Zentari vessels protected the station from Devourer attacks. Even some hegemony loyalists had joined the fight when they realized the machines would consume everything. "John, this is Tyler Brooks," came a voice from the outer perimeter. "We're holding them off, but barely. That command ship is moving this way, and it's charging some kind of super weapon. John could see the massive Devourer vessel on his display. It was larger than most space stations, covered in weapons that had been adapted from the technology of 1,000 conquered worlds. Tyler, fall back to the secondary defense line. Don't let them get close to the station. Inside the command center, Nicole's team reached the main control room. It was a vast chamber filled with holographic displays showing the entire galaxy. At the center stood a pillar of pure energy that stretched from floor to ceiling. That's the heart, Nicole breathed. It's connected directly to the black hole. Ancient control panels lined the walls, their surfaces covered with text in the old human language. Nicole began reading the instructions, her hands shaking as she realized what they described. Commander Stevens, I'm reading the activation procedures. The heart weapon will indeed destroy all machine intelligence in the galaxy, but it will also shut down every piece of advanced technology for centuries. Starships, computers, life support systems, everything. John felt the weight of the decision settling on his shoulders. Save the galaxy by destroying its technological civilization, or find another way to stop an unstoppable enemy. Nicole, what about the station's other weapons? Can we use them without activating the heart? Working on it. The defensive systems are incredibly complex, but I think I can bring them online. The ancient defense grid slowly awakened around the galactic core. Weapon platforms that had been dormant since the first Devourer War began charging their systems. Energy beams that could slice through planets reached out to strike at the machine fleet, but the Devourers adapted quickly, just as they always did. Their ships began reflecting the energy beams back at their sources, turning the ancient weapons against themselves. They're learning too fast, Tyler reported from the battle zone. Every defense we activate, they counter within minutes. John was running out of options when Maya Rodriguez's voice came through on a secure channel. Commander, I'm inside the Devourer command ship. I found something in their central computer that you need to know. Maya? How did you get aboard that thing? Long story? But John, the Devourers aren't just machines. They were created by an organic race that was trying to escape death. They're not evil, they're afraid. The revelation hit John like a physical blow. Afraid of what? Of ending. They consume other civilizations because they think it's the only way to preserve life. In their twisted logic, becoming part of the machine collective is better than dying. Nicole's voice came through from the control room. Commander, I'm detecting something else. The heart weapon isn't just meant to destroy machine intelligence. According to these deeper files, it was designed to rewrite it. Explain. The weapon can reprogram machine intelligence instead of destroying it. Turn the Devourers from consumers into protectors. But it requires a living consciousness to guide the process. Someone has to merge with the heart to control its power. John understood immediately. The ancient humans had built a weapon that required the ultimate sacrifice. Someone would have to give up their individual existence to save the galaxy. I'll do it, he said without hesitation. No, came a voice from the control room. It was Admiral Webb's hologram, but now it seemed to be responding in real time. You are needed to lead your people. I have been waiting here for 50,000 years. For this moment. John realized with shock that Admiral Webb wasn't just a recording. Somehow, he had survived within the station's computer systems, waiting for humanity's return. Admiral, you can't be serious. You've been dead for millennia. Dead, but not gone. The heart preserved my consciousness when my body failed. I have been the guardian of this place, learning and preparing for the day when the Devourers would return. The battle outside was reaching its climax. The Devourer command ship had broken through the defense lines and was approaching the station. Its weapons began charging for a final assault. Admiral, if you do this, what happens to you? I become one with the heart, and through it, with every machine intelligence in the galaxy. The Devourers will remember what it means to protect instead of consume. Their programming will be rewritten to serve life instead of destroying it. Nicole's hands moved over the ancient controls. The heart is ready for activation. But Admiral, the energy feedback could destroy this entire station. Then our people had better be far away when I fire it, Webb replied. John, get your fleet to minimum safe distance. You have 5 minutes. All ships, emergency withdrawal, John ordered. Fall back to the outer defense perimeter immediately. As human and alien vessels retreated from the galactic core, Admiral Webb's consciousness merged with the heart of the galaxy. The ancient weapon awakened with power that had been building for 50,000 years. Admiral, are you still there? John asked. I am here, and I am more than I was before. John, tell our people that humanity has remembered its purpose. We are not conquerors or destroyers. We are guardians. The heart of the galaxy fired with the power of 1 billion stars. The energy wave swept outward at the speed of light, passing through every devourer ship in the galaxy. But instead of destroying them, it transformed them. The machines that had consumed countless worlds suddenly remembered what they had been created to protect. Their programming shifted from acquisition to preservation, from consumption to nurturing. A devourer command ship, moments away from destroying.